Have you ever asked yourself what differentiates the winners from the masses? I have found that the winners are aware of a certain place within. It's referred to as the higher self. And in this higher self, there's an image of perfection, which is forever attempting to express itself in a greater way.
I will be where I want to be. I'm 100% confident that I will make it to the top. I have the skills, I have the dedication, and it's something I really, really want. So words can't even describe, but it will happen, and I'll let you know when it happens.
When the winner wants to turn their dreams into physical realities, they call on this higher self. And they set about and change the world, not just for themselves, but for everyone in it.
My dream is to be world lightweight champion in the UFC, have more money than I know what to do with, and have a great life for my kids, my grandkids, everyone in my family, everyone that's come up with me.
You start introducing thoughts, and you start thinking of thoughts as a form of perception.
The way you view the world.
They're going to shape the way they're going to shape what you see.
Wow.
I always felt like I could do anything. That's the main thing people are controlled by. Thoughts, their perception of themselves. They're slowed down by their perception of themselves. If you're taught you can't do anything, you won't do anything. I was taught I could do everything.
You know, for me to try and change the results in my life, in other words, what's going on outside of me, without changing what's going on inside, would be just about as foolish for me to try and change the reflection of this mirror without changing my physical appearance. It's never going to happen. Well, that's what people are doing. They're trying to change something outside without changing what's going on inside.
If they're going to change themselves, what part of themselves do they have to change? They have to change their subconscious conditioning. That's what they have to change. Your behavior causes your results. If you want to change the results, don't look outside of yourself. Don't say it's the economy, it's the boss, it's my spouse, it's none of those things. It's something inside.
I want to hear other young niggas talking about they bosses and speaking into existence. You got to know you a boss before you even blow, nigga. You got to feel that in your heart. You got to carry yourself in that manner. If you got $200 to your name, you got to put your mind in a setting that I'm worth way more than what I got. So that's how I'm going to look at myself.
He had to ask himself, am I able to do this? Well, he seemed to have that innate awareness of this higher self, this image of perfection within him, and he saw himself as a person that was actually able to take and turn the fantasy into a fact. Now, he must have been a pretty courageous guy because there were no horseless carriages in those days. But then he had to ask himself, am I willing? And you see, he had to ask himself, am I willing to accept the ridicule that I'm bound to get? Am I willing to accept the failures? Well, he said, yes, I am willing. He was willing to pay the ultimate price to turn his fantasy into a fact.
My mother made me believe in myself. No matter how many people tell me, stop believing in yourself. Stop saying what you can do. Stop affirming what you're gonna do and then completing that in real life. That's the improper way to do it. I refuse to follow those rules that society has set up in the way that they control people with low self-esteem.
Thinking incorporates sensations from the past, sensations from the present, and can include sensations from the future that we haven't even had yet.
Interesting.
Interesting thing about thinking is it's very hard to control our spontaneous thoughts. So for instance, I can't prevent myself from thinking something. However, I can deliberately introduce a thought. People forget this, that one of our enormous powers as human beings is another form of top-down control, which is to say, I'm going to write out my name, I am Andrew, or I can think I am Andrew. Now, it takes a little bit of work. You kind of notice to think something specific, like you would write it out in your head, just as you would write it out on paper. It feels like a little bit of work because it is work. You're taking that spontaneous thought process and you're inserting a thought on top of it. And we know that you can't hold too many thoughts in mind at once. So what I will say is that it's hard to suppress thoughts, but it's actually quite easy to introduce thoughts. And it sounds to me like this law is basically a process of introducing thoughts.
And when you have to ask, am I able to turn this fantasy of mine into a fact? Can I actually realize it? Can I turn my dreams into reality? Now, you're either going to say, yes, I'm able to, or no, I'm not. If you realize you are able, if you have an understanding of this potential, this power within you, then you have to ask yourself, are you willing? And there's a long series of tests there. You don't even know what you're going to come up against. One thing is for certain, you'll come up against ridicule. You may have to move. You may have to do all kinds of things that you don't even think about. You have to be willing to do whatever's required if you really want to turn your fantasy into a fact. The second you say, yes, I'm willing, at that instant, you've created your theory.
So whatever plans you have, you know exactly like
I stick to the script, man.
Yeah, man.
Get it? Nah, but that one thing I noticed about myself, when I like, thoughts is powerful in all facets. Cause even my career, even my life, you know, things end up turning out exactly how I visualized them. Not in this time frame I expected. You know what I'm saying? You always want shit to happen overnight. But, you know, I just had clear visions. You know, obviously outside of my girl, I just mean the music and hustling and just how I viewed myself as an adult when I was a young dude coming up. And your thoughts powerful. That shit, you know, come to life if you stick to your script.
Now, generally, when a person doesn't know how to do something, they say they can't do it. The truth is they can. You and I are capable of doing anything. We are God's greatest creation. We're spiritual beings. And as spiritual beings, we're able to do anything at all. All things are possible. Our objective is to figure out how, not whether we're able to or not. Now, it would appear as if the only way I could get to the other side of this ladder is to climb over the ladder. But the truth isn't always in the appearance of things. You see, I could just walk through this ladder. Now, where I might have used an illusion to get this point across, you might want to think of this for a second. All obstacles are illusions. But the obstacles cause us to have doubts in our mind. Are we really capable of doing this? You know, if you had formed the attitude that every obstacle is an illusion, just like this ladder, I didn't have to climb over it. I could just walk right through it. Well, you may not be able to walk through some of the obstacles, but I can guarantee you this. You're able to figure out how to get around them, how to get over them, or how to get to where you want to go. You're able to do anything. So get the idea about whether you're able or not right out of your mind. You're quite capable of doing anything that you want to do.
Ain't nothing wrong with, you know, dreaming of things that to a lot of other people are unbelievable. Ain't nothing wrong with thinking big. I'm a living testament that the world is yours. If you put your mind to it, anything is possible.
You start introducing thoughts, and you start thinking of thoughts as a form of perception.
The way you view the world.
They're going to shape the way they're going to shape what you see.
Wow.
Beliefs actually have their own rewarding quality. That there's actually dopamine release associated with beliefs.
Having a belief.
Yes. So when you believe something, there are chemical reward systems in your mind that are associated with just repeating that belief.
Because every time you write your goals down, you're programming them into your subconscious mind. When you program them into your subconscious mind, you set up a field of vibration within your brain. And this law of attraction, based on this field of vibration, attracts into your life people and circumstances that harmonize with your dominant thoughts. Everybody here has had the experience of starting to read about a subject, think about a subject, become interested in a subject, and suddenly you started to attract into your life books, magazines, articles, conversations, people, opportunities to expand on that subject. Have you had that experience before? What you do is you create a force field, which we cannot explain scientifically, but it is a field of vibration that goes out from you and attracts back into your life everything that you need to realize your dominant goals.
Secret or manifesting or intention, all of that is it's capturing a fundamental principle of the way that our neurology works, which is that the prefrontal cortex, as a rule-setting but flexible rule-setting machine that taps into the dopamine system, can absolutely adopt new rules for reward release in the brain. The dopamine system responds. It's not just a belief and a narrative, it's a real response.
I used to tell myself, I will walk in the Linux, I said one day I'm walking here and people gonna stop me for pictures, and now that's what it is.
I believe in magic in regards to the idea that you can do exceptional things if you have enough self-belief. Self-hypnosis is ultra powerful. Have you you've never hypnotized yourself?
No, I don't know how to.
Every word that comes out of your mouth is self-hypnosis. Do you consider yourself a strong person?
Yes.
Do you say I am strong?
No.
Why not?
Just don't say it.
Do you think if you say I am strong on repeat overall in a long enough time frame, if you keep saying I am strong and truly believing it, that you'll be stronger? No. Well, then you're wrong. You would.
Really?
Of course. Self-hypnosis. You have to believe in yourself. You have to say things. If I were to tell you right now I could rip your head off with one finger, you wouldn't want me to try.
I mean, because you're a big guy.
Because you know I mean what I say.
Okay.
This is my exact point.
Is that what
If I look at a man's eyes and I tell him, listen, don't touch her. I'm going to hurt you. That's hypnosis.
So this is like a
If he
real
complies, then it's hypnosis, right?
I guess so.
Life is hypnosis. It's all hypnosis.
That's the model used to do with me. He used to take me to a hypnotist. He was a hypnotist as well. Yeah, and I used to go into the hypnotist motions.
What kind of shit do they make you do?
You know,
and how they do it?
You relax, you go under, you totally focus on blackness, nothingness.
Right.
And you go under and just being this savage, intelligent animal. Just working. You're gonna do this. You're gonna be a ferocious animal. You're gonna fight, puff both hands to the body. You'll use your jab. You're gonna do this in ferocious fashion. And they seeked all that in me as I was younger.
And you were like 12, 13 years old?
Yeah.
Wow. So they're putting you under and just teaching you that mindset.
Yeah.
Whoa.
When you start to understand really who you are, you're God's highest form of creation. There's things about you that just about blow your mind as you start to study and really understand them. You'll walk a little taller. You'll stand a little straighter. And you know something? You'll enjoy a whole lot more of life.
If I see something, I see an opportunity, I'm going to go for it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? we're all going to die one day. Live like that. Live like you could die tomorrow. Go for it.